Hey everyone, and welcome to Mayfield and Friends, episode 37. This episode, we've got double the guests. So we have Plundering on, who's been on before, and Iggy Hazard, who is also a level 3 skiller in the Z-Skillers clan. So why don't we start with Plundering, introduce yourself, where you're at from last time we talked, and then we can go to Iggy after that.
Alrighty, well, I'm a level 3 skiller. I just passed 3 bill total XP, 200 mil all except for agility and Slayer. And that's pretty much it.
And Iggy?
I've been a level 3 skiller since like 2004. Played pretty much exclusively as a level 3 skiller until like 2017. I don't know, I consider myself like a top tier casual player. I'm maxed, but I don't really feel like I have that impressive of an account since I kind of hang out HLC adjacent a lot with people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I maxed right before leagues. I think that's about it, really. I have an Iron Man and stuff too. I mean, I like a lot of different parts of the game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about being level 3 that all of us kind of share is you kind of restrict yourself in parts of the game. So I know all of us have other accounts that are able to explore the parts that we miss, i.e. PVM and skilling methods that we can't do, like sepulcher and other things in level 3.
I know I actually really want to look to do some. Sorry, I just smoked a bunch of weed. I do look forward to learning sepulcher at some point on my Iron Man. I think that looks fun.
It's good content. So because we have, we won't dive into like the normal questions that I go through. We'll kind of just go through some updates from, we'll say back in, it's been 7 months since I've done this. So we'll go September onwards. So September onwards, we're looking at a few different things. Let's go with Varlamore. Varlamore is one of our more recently, well, it is the most recently done continent or country, however you want to go about it. So I guess Plundering, what is your initial thoughts on both sections of Varlamore that we have right now? The Herblore minigame, Hunter rumors, things like that.
Alright, so the first part, that was the Hunter rumors.
Yep.
I was definitely a big fan of that. Like, I really liked the skilling method and just like the variety that you get to experience just catching creatures that you've never really caught before. And I like the new quests that they added, especially that lily pad one.
Yeah, that one was fun.
And the transport system is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, having something kind of like the Eagles, but like more accessible than the Eagles was nice.
Yeah.
Right? They should rework the Eagles to be more like that.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how they could redo the Eagle transport to make it more like the Varlamore transport. I know, like
even just like remotely useful at all.
Yeah, because they're really not. They're only used for diaries, I think.
Yeah, and then you just never use them ever again, huh?
Pretty much.
Don't Irons use it to get to like Piscators or wherever?
Nah, fairy rings.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're if you're an Iron, you have at least Fairy Tale Part 1 or half part of Fairy Tale Part 2 done. You just use the fairy rings to get up there. So they're virtually useless for pretty much everybody.
Unlucky.
Yeah,
so
it'd be all right, like a Western Provinces version of the Quetzal.
Yeah, maybe it could be like a diary reward. You could upgrade it, where you could get something that could like teleport you to the Eagles.
Came into my house.
So, Plundering, what about the Herblore minigame that we got with Part 2? What do you think about that?
So I didn't really do it too much. I did it a little bit on release just to like see if the GP was good at all from it. And I haven't really been back since like all of the quality of life stuff that they've added, so I don't really have a huge opinion on it. I mean, it obviously changed how Herblore is trained now. Well, mostly in terms of how expensive it is, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was like. Mm, I wouldn't say it was like a bad update in terms of mains, but I know Irons have like a way different opinion.
Yeah, it did kind of change how the Iron Man Herblore meta was done, especially for people who don't use the potions. Because then it's like, well, the herbs now did nothing for me anyway. So why not get more bang for my buck with the herbs I'm actually planting? Did Iggy return from seeing if somebody broke into his house or not? You back?
Mhm. Probably dead.
Probably dead. Maybe he got. Hopefully he didn't get murdered. So we'll circle back on that then with him, and then we'll look at a little bit at October. And have you looked at all into the Project Xanaris thing that they're
Yeah.
kind of spouting at all?
Well, I've like kept up with like the information that they've shared with us, like the customization that we'll be able to like have access to at the start.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think it's gonna be like a good update overall, and it'll be interesting to see like what kind of content comes out of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool for the content creation sphere, but it does worry me about like when they do leagues and all that stuff, is like consistently splitting the player base, because we're already split between two different games. So consistently splitting all the O7 players between different items and different like servers does make me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not gonna be a permanent server type thing. Like I feel like the cost is gonna be too much to justify having it running for like longer than a few months at a time. So it would be more for like the short-term content creation type of thing, like setting up events and like PvP battle royales or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like looking at the October update from that, it does have a little bit of things that are kind of talking about different items, like what you can do, the different like what's what I'm looking for, restrictions you can put on yourself, things like that.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't make it like maybe the players can pay for their own server to have it up.
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna be, but I'm just not sure how expensive that could be. Like I'm not sure how like the data costs or electricity and all of that factors into.
Yeah. Well, have you ever looked into getting like for anybody else out there who's done like a Minecraft or a Valheim or a server of any kind for any kind of game you can play with people? Do you know how much those cost by chance? I actually
I
just
don't.
I just canceled my Minecraft server that I was playing with my friends. And depending on how much RAM you want allocated to the server and a bunch of other stuff, they could go with a third party server hosting. And that was about, I think it was about $23 a month. And I was able to have
Mm,
like some pretty serious mod packs on there too.
oh, that's not bad then.
Yeah, so I imagine they might try and do something of that nature, but like have their own like JagX third party hosting thing or however they want to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest in playing a server like that?
Um, I feel like it would have to be something that's like that specifically catches my eye. One idea that I would definitely be interested in is if somebody could like port Bounty Hunter over into a free to play only server, just because I prefer like the free to play style of PKing, and I feel like having a Bounty Hunter for that would be way better just being assigned targets and not having to like go around asking people for fights. Otherwise, if you like attack the wrong person, they'll just like set up their rag bots on you, so you're just like not even able to PK anymore that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could definitely be something like, I know back when like the EOC came out and stuff, private servers started popping off. Because of that, people just wanted to go and like PK. So I wonder if there'll be like a dedicated like PK server where you can log in and just like give yourself items. That way it's not like LMS, but it's just like a normal kind of wilderness for people.
Probably like just a tournament world that's up 24/7, but you have to pay extra to access it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that would be like a good membership upgrade feature thing, just having permanent access to a tournament world.
Yeah, and I guess since we're talking about it now, we can kind of dive a little bit into some of the controversial membership upgrades and paying more money for certain things. So, as far as Jagex is a business model, we know that their main mode of getting money is membership.
Correct.
And then for
How much do they actually get from RS3?
From RS, I've heard that RS3 just the microtransactions make more than old school RuneScape membership does.
No, I've heard the opposite. That
Have you?
OSRS, yeah.
I feel like I've also heard that, but I don't know.
That could have been. That also could have been like years ago when 07 wasn't as popular.
I think it was like 2021 or something that the OSRS like surpassed RS3, and I don't think it's gone the other way since then.
Yeah, that's probably when I heard about it then, or like before that, sometime 2019, sometime 2020 when I initially heard about that. So I guess we'll go to Iggy because he's back, he's alive. So
yeah,
Iggy,
I don't know if my kids will be amicable or not. We'll see. Their mom brought them home a couple hours early, so
fingers crossed. So I guess diving into what we were just kind of chatting about, and that was the recent membership price changing and like adding additional services for more money, things like that. Is there something that, you know, caught your eye that you were like, this is going to be the downfall of the game? No, or is there something that you were like
such a dramatic response to it? I think most of everybody's just being a bunch of fucking babies. Oh shit, can I cuss? I think I can cuss, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just everybody being super dramatic over something that I assume was just like I imagine that survey probably had to be presented to the community in order for the people at Jagex that are like on our side, like the dev team, to be able to demonstrate, like, look, dude, this is dumb. This is a bad idea. I'm not really at all convinced we're going to see anything from that, let alone anything nearly as significant as people were acting like. On the same note, I can see the point in Jagex putting their feelers out to be like, all right, well, if we need to make money and just to survive in a capitalism, you have to. We're gonna need to do something, right? And I feel like they approached it wrong, obviously, right? Like the whole thing was like laughably stupid. But I feel like there could be potential in things like people on mobile paying a little less. I feel like the survey kind of approached it all backwards, where it seemed like they were trying to monetize things that we already have or should be entitled to, instead of treating the game as it exists today as like the starting point and being like, because that's what they said, some dumb shit about paying more for more or whatever the hell, and none of it was all paying more for the same at best. You know what I mean?
I think the funniest one I saw was the
20-minute AFK timer. Maybe offer a 60-minute one. I don't know. I mean, just whatever. They just worked the wrong direction from it. You know?
Yeah. I was gonna say what the funniest one was, like paying extra for upgraded customer support when like that is already non-existent.
Yeah, I feel like if we had decent customer support, that would not have been a bad suggestion.
Exactly.
Like having live chat access if you paid
to the marketing team, that made perfect sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But since they don't have any customer support whatsoever, or it's just so bad, then It's just
Dude,
it's just
yeah.
it's just spitting in our face, really.
I
Mhm.
lost my cell phone with my two-step authenticator on it once. I actually got drunk and got in a fight with a homeless guy in a Walmart parking lot, and my phone disappeared. And it took me like 3 years almost to get my fucking, or 2 years almost to get my account back.
I think I remember that
Like
because you were
all the
playing on different
information
accounts for
over.
a while.
Yeah, I made that little hardcore Iron Man for no reason and shit. Yeah, that was just because I lost my phone with my two-step authenticator on it.
Yeah, and at least companies like Steam, if you like change phones, it's not that difficult to change it, but that also goes back into like security, all
Yeah,
that
but you
fun
have to have your
stuff.
old phone. That was my problem. Is it's just like, hey, I can't use 2SA. Trust me, bro. The crazy thing is, I spent it was like 580 days or some shit. I think when I logged back into my account, I spent a long time just trying to like go through the chain of command or whatever the fuck, and it was just all automated thing and like a weird loop of links that just sent me back and forth to the same couple fucking Q&A or FAQ fucking pages, right?
Hmm.
And as soon as I actually managed to talk to a real person, I got my account back. It was just wild that took almost 2 years, a year and a half. I don't know. Do the math.
Yeah, that timeline is not great. And then Iggy, what we were talking about as well was what do you how do you feel about when Voldemort came out? Part one, part two. Part one, I guess for us
Really
specifically,
good.
is the Hunter Rumors. Part two would be specifically the I guess and the thieving method. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
the
probably one of the only things on Varlamore I've actually done a whole lot of. I was working on maxing at the time, so since I already had Hunter and shit, I didn't really end up on Varlamore a lot. Um, Integrating new stuff onto my Iron Man was always kind of. I'm always like really slow to do that, like learn new methods and shit.
Mhm.
It seemed really good though, and it's um I think a good example of like how we shouldn't be too worried about RuneScape getting totally ruined. So the dev team has been really putting out like high quality shit for a pretty good while now. They're streaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've heard nothing but good things about pretty much everything on Varlamore. Oh, I guess I've done a lot of Perilous Moons on my Iron Man, which I think is really good content.
Yeah, I think it's fun content, and it's like one of the few ones that you can't use protection prayers for. So it's a little bit different than some of the other stuff. It's a little bit more like interesting, trying to manage things better. I also like the self-sustaining like supplies in there. I always thought like that kind of
I
stuff
like
was
that
cool, like
a lot.
Gauntlet.
I like how they fit something into the game that was like competitive, at least like from an Iron Man point of view, right? Because like the Iron Man perspective is, I think, a lot more like structural and how you understand the way RuneScape works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they fit it in with borrows, so it was like really competitive, right? Like, and obviously they have like damage bonuses and shit. So like Moons is a little better, but it didn't really manage to like make Borrow's gear like defunct. You know what I mean?
Barrows.
I'm pretty sure it's Borrows, dude. I don't know.
It's Barrows, bro.
Let me see. Google it. Oh, I found the Reddit page with all Runes or JGX's finance stuff on
Oh damn.
it.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff. They're a publicly traded company, aren't they?
See.
Uh,
Does it say that? Got total revenue.
I'm not sure about that, Mayfield.
Yeah, I don't.
But like,
I
On
know they've released stuff before,
Q2028.
so I don't know how some of that
I
stuff
think
works.
I think just like the financial stuff has to be publicly available.
Interesting.
This is a year old. Total revenue 124.8 million pounds, $155 million. Total subscriber count 1.1 million at the time of this post. Made 88 million from subscriptions, $110 million. Sorry, it's in pounds first. JGX made 34 million pounds from MTX, so they get almost triple the amount in subscription revenue as they do from MTX, which includes bonds.
Okay.
Over half of its revenue from the USA alone. JGX has 48.9 million pounds in liquid cash, $35 million a year.
Well, I
They
know
paid
the devs
4.6
aren't.
million in salaries to their top 2 directors. That's pretty wild.
Wait, what was that last part?
Yeah, sorry.
Jagex paid 4.6 million pounds, $5.7 million in salaries to their top 2 directors.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
So those two
Yeah.
guys just want more money, I guess. I feel like if you're
They
anywhere
at least get
over
more
like
from
$1 million
memberships
in
than they do from
salary,
MTX.
you should be comfortable with that. But that's just
Don't even
me.
get me started on shareholders and shit, dude.
Yeah, well, we'll stray away from that and we'll go back into the next update topic. Have
Yeah.
either of you
I
guys
wouldn't.
go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna Iggy, I was gonna mention the thing that we talked about earlier for the membership thing. Like,
Right.
how would you feel about like paying extra membership, but then you get permanent access to tournament worlds? So like the beta worlds, so then you can like practice whatever testing or whatever you wanted to do.
That sounds good, at least doable. I don't think I would, but I could see how at least that would be
I feel like
appealing to
that
some
would be
people.
like a
Just a
way
one-time
better
payment.
route. Yeah, or just a way better route than like because then you actually get like an additional benefit for paying extra.
Yeah. For what it's worth too, I think that if it was necessary to keep them from like compromising the integrity of the game, I could live with a banner ad.
I think like
one
did you guys
single
ever play the
banner
game
ad.
in the browser back? Well, I guess Iggy, you probably did. But Plun, did you ever play when like it was like literally a web browser and there was ads on the side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely authentic old school to have a banner ad.
That
Yeah.
was only for non-members, though, right? I feel like members didn't have ads.
It's been so long. I do not remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I could see them if they try to do that for like a less membership cost for that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd still pay the full amount.
Yeah, I would definitely.
You know what
I,
I don't get is the way they structured the packages for multiple memberships seemed totally fucking
It was
broken.
random.
Like they were like, yeah, I guess they kind of said that it was random too. So I don't know if it was just like throwing in random numbers instead of just putting X's or some shit. I don't know, but I feel like I probably would get more accounts membership if they were like consecutively cheaper.
Yeah,
oh,
Right?
I
Like
agree.
14 for the first
and
or whatever, and then like 9 for the second, and then 6 for the third or some shit.
that was actually like part of the every single package that they offered, except it wasn't getting cheaper for each additional. It was just a flat rate per additional
Yeah, it
character.
didn't make any sense.
But like, if we had like a membership that was the same as now, but we had to pay $20 for it, and then every extra character is like $5 a month on top of that, then yeah, I'd definitely do that because then you end up paying less if you like have more than 3 accounts or something.
Yeah, and I actively
Yeah.
play 2. Sometimes I'll fuck around and make a third or do something with a third account, like just random stuff. But like I'm pretty much always on 2 when I'm playing.
Yeah, me too. Generally, I've been kind of trying to sweat more on a single account lately. I kind of just haven't altered much since like leagues or whatever, but I was always 2 or 3 accounts too.
Yeah, I'm just working on Temperos right now, so it's easy to just do bone shard mining on the hardcore while I do that.
Right. I just made like 40k glass in my Iron Man, and then I got through it in like 2 days, and I was like, oh, I expected that to last longer. And then my mems ran out, and I haven't bothered pulling away from agility to go get a bond and shit.
I just pay real life money. I'm lazy.
I usually do. I'm like a neat right now though, so
Respect.
first time ever. I'm still excited. I'm like 6 months in, and I'm still having a good time. Took advantage of it though. Got my killer maxed. I placed top 1K in the leagues.
That's
Which
dope.
wasn't, I don't know. I think it ended up not being super impressive because most people just stopped at 60k or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'd played every single leagues up to that point, and actually been trying really fucking hard while working full time and having a family and all that crap. I got ruined twice, I think. I don't know. 3 times, probably 3 times.
I think I got ruined in the first league, and then no other league after that kind of pulled me in the same way. I
was
play every now and again, but
Yeah, I was legit like 20 minutes of fucking game time away from managing Dragon Cup and Twisted Leagues. Like I was doing artifacts, and I think I was like 1 or 2 off of a task or some shit. I can't remember exactly anymore, but like legit less than an hour, and I would have had it. And I was like on when the server shut down, still going and shit. I was sad.
that would have been depressing.
Oh, good segue back to the Varlamore thing. Check out this hot take, dude. I think they should do a Twisted Leagues Reloaded, but it'll be all of Corrend and Varlamore.
Yo,
Oh,
I
shit.
would be down for that.
I think the coolest thing about the Twisted Leagues, because like the UI and the system itself was not very worked out yet, and I think they've gotten progressively better as far as that goes. But I think what made Twisted League seem so cool to me at the time is that it was like all new content and nobody was really familiar with it, and it was like all the dudes on YouTube were just doing like weird theory crafting, and it was really fun. I think it made it feel a lot more like a community experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of disappointed they didn't do that with Varlamore coming out right before the leagues this time too.
Yeah, but there is going to be a part 3 as well. So they could just do that after all of Varlamore's
That's
out.
yeah. Yeah.
Hope
Twisted
so.
Leagues Reloaded, dude.
I would like that because like I remember playing the first league. It was so like unique and new, and now, unfortunately, now it just feels like something that's coming every year, and they don't really change a whole lot because it's been Trailblazer 3 times now.
Yeah, but it's just so successful. That's why they don't really need to change a lot. Well, the Echo Bosses part was cool, and like
I really enjoyed those. Yeah, I had a really good time this league.
I'm a leagues hater now. Sorry, guys.
I've never played leagues, but this one definitely seemed the most interesting, or I was the most tempted to try it, but I still didn't.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, I was really glad that I got to do the leagues while I was unemployed.
Yeah, you guys spend all the time doing it.
Hell yeah. It went really well. Especially because it's like having a Dragon Cup is something I've been wanting for 5 years or whatever the hell at this point. Feels
I
very vindicating to finally get that.
I think if they do a Twisted League Reloaded, I might try and go for a Dragon Trophy for the first time. The first time I did, I got close, like you said, but I didn't get as close as you did. But I got like, I don't know. I still have points left over from like that first league because I did so much.
Yeah, I have like 180k league points in my shop right now.
Well, thanks for reminding me after we finish recording this, I gotta go buy my new teleport animation.
I have like my Grand Exchange thing's all full of me trying to slow sell stuff too. I actually ended up buying a lot of league rewards when they first came out because, like, just while everybody was like standing around the GE trying to trade them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that at some point, when the velocity of them on the Grand Exchange kind of drops, like people aren't trading them around as much anymore, then the prices will start to go back up again.
Yeah,
We'll see. I don't need any money right now, so I'm just playing with it.
Yeah, that's the hard part though, is because the league comes out basically every year now. There's no shortage of points coming into the game.
Yeah, kind of. I think well, like ornament kits, I think they probably get traded around pretty constantly throughout the year, but then a lot of other stuff, I think people just buy them once and have them and then just forget about them forever or whatever. So they, for all intents and purposes, kind of like leave the market, right?
That's true. Yeah, I know the ornate pool one is still pretty expensive from last league.
Yeah. I know that a lot of them just crashed. Like the old leagues items crashed like the week of that one finishing up. So I got like 50 twisted horns at like $1 each, and they were like $3 each a couple months ago. So even though they haven't really recovered much, I think I'll probably still be able to flip them at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me see what are those at now. 2.6. Damn, I've had him in there at 3. So I'm probably close to getting that already.
Do you guys want to dive into the next big update from October?
What was that? I have no sense of chronology at all.
Winter Todd.
Oh yeah, no, I've actually enjoyed those updates. I assume it probably feels a lot better to do Winter Tot on an account with hit points now. It's as a level 3 with 10 hit points, it doesn't feel way different. You just don't have to like fill your inventory with cakes or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Plundering. It sounded like you had a good opinion on that one. Why don't you start?
Oh, I didn't really have an opinion.
Oh, I thought the way you said it made it sound like you had one.
No, I was just like expecting something that actually was impactful, I guess.
I mean, October wasn't a huge big one because we did we talked about Project Xanaris a bit, and then Winter Todd, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was good, obviously, for people with HP, and I think they can do Wintertide with just a region bracelet now if they have the warm clothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's all right. And also
They should make you get interrupted less, honestly.
Yeah,
it's just annoying.
Being able to always fletch the kindling, being able to always fletch at least one set is nice, I guess. Or it would be nice if I was doing it.
Right. That's like the main reason I don't fletch, because I just get triggered getting interrupted twice as much.
Mm-hmm. I personally, I think it was kind of a double-edged sword. I liked a lot of the updates, the warmth meter change, things like that. I don't like that they got rid of crates.
Really? I don't know. That's neutral to me.
I liked crates. I liked the opening of them. I thought it was fun.
I could see that, yeah.
But
It's got to be nice
like,
that they don't take up like bank slots.
Yeah.
Now, right?
Especially as a UIM.
It was pretty cool to see whoever the hell did that a few months ago, where they got 200 mil fire making and then got all their rewards, and they got like 20 fire chickens from it. That was tight.
I think that was Alkin who did that.
And
somebody in our clan did that.
They did?
But,
yeah, Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just selfish though, because I want people to suffer the way I suffered, having to reset every fucking hour.
Oh, you're one of those guys, huh? Like, how fucking dare you cure cancer when I fucking had to be sick with cancer?
Exactly. You should have to suffer the way I suffered.
Man. Real boomer mentality, bro.
I'm just fucking with you guys. But I will say, Wintertide was a kind of a small one. Yeah, Wintertide was kind of a small one, so we'll kind of cruise over that one. Just wanted to see if you guys had any big notes on that at all. In November was the month Leagues came out. Leagues 5, Raging Echoes. Yeah. We talked about that a bit. Have you guys dove into any of the Guardians of the Rift changes that happened in November as well?
No. I've actually been putting off Guardians of the Rift because I've been telling myself for like 2 years that after I max, I'll start getting all my transmogs for my pets and shit. But I do not enjoy that on a level 3 at all.
Yeah, the minigame is not great on level 3. I think it is.
The more restricted you are, the worse it is. I've gotten the outfit on 3 other accounts already. And like on a max main, it's pretty cool. On my pure, it was like not great because I couldn't do what just Bloods? Was it just Bloods?
Yeah, because
Bloods,
right,
deaths, and laws.
Can you do deaths? Well, on the skiller you can't do any of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because deaths you need Mornings in part 2. Laws you need. No, it's what Cosmics you need Lost City.
Lost City. You can do that on level 3 though.
It's just a pain in the ass.
I think I just took XP for it. I did that like a long time ago.
I didn't do it because of the Slayer task thing. It unlocks like Zagomates.
There's only like 6 of those though. That's a quick task, isn't that good
Yeah,
on a
but
level 3 just for
no,
points?
they're not
Or
good
can
for
you
him.
kill them? Right, never mind.
Because they're not multi, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the only things that changed were just more quality of life changes, giving us extra access to specific, like, I don't know, doesn't look like much changed aside from being able to get a little bit more XP, exchanging pearls for reward searches, giving more
yeah.
pearls.
The
I've never had too many pearls. I've never
the
done that
colossal
much.
pouch thing. The colossal pouch thing is cool, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, being able to use a colossal pouch at any runecraft level, and its capacity scales depending on which tier of essence pouches you can use. That's not bad.
That makes sense. Yeah, that seems all right.
Yeah, only really good for people who spoon the needle, though.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think I have the needle on Mayfield. Let's check.
I've never even gotten it at all yet. Like I've done it for the outfit on 3 accounts,
Oh, I did get the needle. I lied.
and only one of those accounts even got a lantern.
I got the lantern on Mayfield. I don't know, like pretty quick in, but I actually got rid of it because I died doing a clue scroll, and it was in my death storage.
Oh no.
I already had 99 at the time, so it doesn't matter to me. I just wear the room crafting cape for the perks.
Yeah,
And then yeah, so that was November was basically just leagues. That was like kind of the big thing. And then Guardians of the Rift. And also the first look at the Royal Titans that are coming out in next week, I think, actually.
Yep, 3 days.
Oh, is it 3 days? I thought it was next week. Damn.
3 days is Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday of this next week, bud.
Oh my god. It feels like January still to me.
I already forgot all about that. I did all those surveys and read all those blog posts, and I don't even remember much about them anymore. They're doing another elemental book.
No, it's not. It's a
it?
staff.
Oh, okay.
It's a staff that like autocasts the correct elemental weakness thing depending on which monster you're killing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like an in between like the toxic trident and some other thing.
The warped scepter.
Queen Flame Staff is the name of it.
Yeah. 60 magic. And then yeah, it looks like
It's interesting because it's a slower attack speed weapon and it gets like a double hit kind of.
yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
And then
It looks
they're gonna do like the midway point between the 15% and the rigor and augury thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be good at Zulrah. It looks like it'd be decent for Zulrah, which I guess is not bad for irons, but and then you get pages.
Oh yeah.
I think we're long overdue for more prayers, man. Just so many of them are like useless and pointless, and you skip right over them. Like even like a brand new player would never use the fucking prayer book at all, right?
Well, those 2 new ones that are coming out in 3 days, those are just for peers, and they're similar to rigor and augury, but just a little weaker.
Seems good. I don't know. I think new prayers could be cool. They've just had a really hard time ever coming up with anything that's like new and interesting and unique or whatever, or finding the balance between game breaking and useless, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think people want them to find a line between curses and something that's gonna match old school.
Is that RuneScape 3 shit?
Yeah, RuneScape 3 is curses. That's like their other prayer book, and it's like once you unlocked curses and you had 95 prayer, it would never make any sense to do anything have anything else. Like you basically never used
non-combat based prayers.
Yeah, those were all combat based, I think.
Yeah, I don't know
that's the
how
whole
well that
thing
would
they
go
never-
over poll wise.
It would totally depend on what it was. I mean, that could be that could include a lot of really bad ideas, or I don't know. I mean, it'd be easy to think of skilling based prayers that were totally useless.
Yeah, like
I don't
5%
know.
extra chance at bird nest or
The
something.
prayer book seems unfinished to me because like capping out at 77. I don't know. I guess that's similar to like combat type tiers and stuff.
I would like to see better prayers, but I think the worry that we face with better prayers is a lot of the game is balanced around people having the tier 70 prayers.
Yeah.
So
For
if you start
sure.
introducing
Yeah, I
tier
don't.
like
That's what I mean. Is I don't
85s,
steering away from combat or something maybe, or it'd have to be like a whole new like unique mechanic, and there's the whole problem of like balancing that around the entirety of the game or whatever. Who knows?
yeah. Well, I mean, they already have the reflect prayers in the game because Nex uses them.
Oh, yeah,
So,
like Soul Splitter and all that.
no, just like instead of melee protect, it's melee reflect. So it's
Deflect.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, deflect, yeah. So I don't know. There's always a way they could try to implement those better into the like the normal standard prayer book, but I doubt they would ever do that without giving us another prayer book. Because I know, was it this league or last league that you could use the prayer book that was supposed to come into the game?
The last one.
And I know people use that and they liked it, but they found it was far too like quote unquote game breaking.
It was. This shit was crazy.
But I don't know, because you can't really compare how game breaking it was when you're already like stupidly overpowered just because you're playing leagues.
Also true.
A little bit, yeah. I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember that.
I feel like they could do deflect prayers though, just like make better protection prayers, and instead of it protecting 100%, it protects like 90%, and then the remaining 10% just gets dealt back to the NPC that dealt the damage to
Yeah.
you.
I believe
But,
that
like,
that
you
was part of it.
Yeah, so you like
Right.
still take full damage reduction, but then you're just also recooling a little bit. Just make it slightly better, but not. I don't know.
It's just weird because like that basically just makes everything give you chip damage, and chip damage is like a
That's chip damage against the NPC, not
well, you
against you.
too if you're only taking 90%.
No. I mean, like you take 90. It deletes like 90% of the damage, and then the remaining 10% just gets deflected back to them instead.
Oh,
of...
I see. So it's still full damage immunity.
Yeah,
to you.
so it's like extra DPS and all of the benefit. So it's just a tiny bit of power creep, maybe, or it could be big. I'm not really sure.
Right.
I mean, if people worry about 10%, you could also do like a 95-5 split instead of a full 10.
Right. And they also always round down. So
Yeah, that would just make it like superior in every single way, right?
right, but like people want better prayers. It has to be superior in every way.
Yeah, yeah.
It just can't be
I guess
too
even at
superior.
like a structural level, having 37 to 43 be the most useful prayers.
Yeah.
It's kind of off balance, right?
100%. But that's just how the game has
Yeah,
been
that'd be
forever.
like all
And
90 prayers.
you've also got the purists who
fair
are like,
stuff.
why change what's already perfect, you know?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem they ran into, is just that so much of the game is already fundamentally designed around how those prayers work
Yeah.
that it's really hard, I think, to come up with like anything that doesn't seem to just kind of break it, right?
Yeah. 100%. And I think that like I said, November was basically just that stuff. And then December looks like it was another update on Project Xanaris, which we already talked about a bit. And then they did Game Jam 6 in October. Or not October. Oh, wait, yeah, it says October 2024. What the heck am I looking at here? Oh, it's from October, but it's... Okay, I get it now. I understand. They did it in October. Things got released in... Okay, I understand. A couple Game Jam things they talked about. I know these are not things that are going to come in the game necessarily, but things that J-mods have done in their own time, so...
Yeah, they just want to
Okay.
show it off or whatever.
Yeah,
If you like it.
Yeah, the first one that I see here is it's gonna be really hard to pronounce this. Mara Gubbins Hall looks like a kind of skilling and PVM based boss, like a troll boss. So the pitch is this content aims to create a mutualistic activity for PVMers and skillers to play together to defeat this nightmare troll. Skillers focus on supply and demand, while the PVMers provide new materials while fending off Mari Gubbin until dawn so the leader can sleep peacefully. And it says the skillers would woodcut, fletch, cook, and craft to upgrade armor for the fighters, and the fighters would fight with a ranged style, and then they would get troll scraps that you would give to the skillers who can then make better gear for the PVMers. So it sounds almost like a
Raid, kind of.
I was thinking more of like a wave-based thing.
But you also like kill like monsters and then get items and then use those to upgrade your stuff too.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't even look at this actually.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw this.
Pink graceful. I love it. Absolutely. Cherry Blossom Tangleroot, also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the Player-Owned Lodge and Fragrant Harvest minigame?
Yeah. I just scrolled through the whole blog post real quick.
Okay, so looking at the Player-Owned Lodge, it already reminds me a bit of there's content in RS3. It's where the sawmill is, and you build like a lodge there, and that's exactly what it reminds me of. And so I think that'd be cool. I think we've only had the player-owned house for so long. I think something else that's unique to the player would be cool. I would love to see like something addition to farming that way, or the player-owned lodge in this here. I mean, what do you guys think about like giving the players something else unique to them?
That'd be tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about it, but I've always like conceptually liked the idea of player-owned farms or whatever they have in RS3, right?
Yeah.
I think construction could use like a whole entire overhaul. It's not necessarily like as to what it's used for or anything, but kind of just like the way you interact with it. I've never really liked how like uncustomizable your house actually feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you're locked into certain things based on what room you're building.
Yeah, right? Like honestly, dude, it could be more like The Sims or something where you could design the walls how you like or whatever the fuck and just use materials per tile or whatever the hell. I don't know. Nothing that would like fundamentally change much of it, but just to make it feel different, like more personalized.
Absolutely. I also really fuck with the pink graceful.
Yeah, that's tight. I'm pretty much pro any cosmetics, like always, honestly. If it's like achievement based in some way.
I also like the Blossom Spirit Tree or the Cherry Blossom Tangleroot. Yeah. And if I remember, I'll try and link this blog post in the description. So like if
mini game,
it just said making tea.
The lodge on the island, you find any different menus to reconstruct. Like, yeah, do we just need tree spawns?
Oh, and they're saying that it might come out with it could be something that comes out with sailing. Okay. Because you might just sail to the island. Okay. Well, I guess that's before we dive more into to game jam stuff, we can go to sailing if you guys want to talk about sailing a bit.
I have high hopes for sailing.
I like how the tea merchant is named Aunt Ira after Uncle Ira.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't even read that part.
That is cool.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I'm pretty optimistic about sailing. I feel pretty safe with the dev team approaching it as slowly and cautiously as they have. You know what I mean? So what are we like almost 2 years in, and well, they've just barely even figured out like the physics of it yet. I feel like they're really taking their time to make sure they do something that is gonna work.
Yeah, I agree, but like for a different reason. I think they definitely want to be careful and all that, but I also think that they're also limited because I feel like we're gonna be getting the new client, like the official client with the C++ and increased draw distance and HD and all that before we get sailing, because that draw distance is probably gonna make a huge impact on how like sailing feels.
Yeah, that's probably true. I actually turned my GPU off right now, and it's crazy how like little render distance you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I often
So like,
forget how low it is naturally without the GPU
Oh,
plugin.
it's crazy. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes it so that I'm like just incapable of playing on mobile. I can't.
but mobile uses the C++ like
What
backbone.
has the better draw distance?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah, mobile is probably better than like the vanilla client now.
Well, that's good.
Well,
Mobile needs love, but I think
well,
that's
the old
probably the
vanilla
best way
client,
to
I
for them to
guess.
pull in new players, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So what are you guys
I don't
looking
know. I think
forward to as
yes,
far as sailing
sailing could
goes?
be anything.
What are you hoping for?
I'm hoping that the what's it called, Barracuda trials are going to be like super fun and similar-ish to Sepulchre.
Oh, that'd be tight.
And if it's like the highest XP rates and like the most intense method, then I feel like that's that's cool. Good balancing.
What about you, Iggy? What are you excited for?
I feel like sailing has a lot of potential to kind of link a lot of the game together, right? It's between hills and regions and quests or whatever. And I think just like as an idea, it seems like something that'd be really easy to use to expand on pretty much anything, right? Like it's so easy to think of ideas for raids or PVM encounters for sailing. It's super easy to come up with ideas for skilling, and I don't know. I feel like it could just be anything, right? So it's really just a matter of how much faith you have in the dev team on whether you think that's good or not.
Yeah. I think one thing I would be excited for is to see how they handle like player versus player with the ships.
That's got to be the
Yeah.
hardest part, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't that's definitely not coming to like after the initial release.
Yeah. Well, I assume that's something too. They'd beta test for a long time or whatever, right? And they'd have. I assume a lot of the PvP community would be pretty involved in interacting with that and giving feedback and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as they just don't go full doomer and give up as soon as it's a thing or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's true. I would like to see. I like sailing as not only a new skill, but also as a good alternative for charter ships for everything. Because like
Yeah, the
in
level
the early
3
game before
UIM,
you
I'm
have
sure.
teleports. Well, not even just for my own selfish reasons, but like I feel like in the early game, charter ships are a big way to like maneuver around the game, and they just cost so much money depending on where you're going.
Sure.
Like 1800 max or whatever to get to Port Khazard. That's not. Is that a lot of money?
I think it's like 3K to get to like Port Phasmatis and shit too.
Oh yeah.
Which I mean,
Um,
if you're like 750 total Iron Man, then yeah, it can be a lot of money.
Right. Or just like day 2 brand new player or whatever, maybe, huh?
Yeah. So I think it'll be an interesting way how they incorporate with other skills. I'm excited to see how they incorporate it with like fishing and with hunter. So I think those are the
sure.
two like main are that are going to be with it.
I hope there's gonna be like a whole bunch of like Easter eggs or like secret shit that we'll be able to figure out on our own.
Right? That would be cool.
Yeah.
I
And
love
like
seeing the community
and
go
I
for
hope
like
and I hope
Easter
like
eggs.
there's gonna be some like islands and shit that are similar to the old resource dungeons from Dungeoneering. They're like they were basically the same as previously available resource areas, except they were just like you just had to have like something in order to unlock them.
Yeah,
So
like
basically, they would just be less contested resource areas, and then on top of that, they could add like new resource types.
yeah, definitely. I think they've already kind of I think touched on a bit of new resource types for some things.
Yeah, like new gems and like they're adding hemp for crafting.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of new resource types. I remember was a stream or something where they were talking about new methods of fishing, and it seemed like they had a really good kind of grasp on introducing new methods that are like high intensity, high reward, low intensity, low reward,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's another thing that sailing could easily lead to is just kind of a new jumping off point for like the next era of RuneScape, and kind of redirecting things into ways more focused on like how the players really experience it.
Yeah, definitely giving like I think what'll be the best part about sailing is giving the people the ability to kind of shape it how we want it in the game. Because I think the last thing people wanted was like a 30k an hour rune crafting 2.0. But we also don't
Yeah, they
want
didn't seem to want that.
like Winter Todd 300k an hour low effort.
Right. Yeah.
Getting like a nice good middle ground, like being able to do like AFK for 50 to 60k an hour, and then being able to do high intensity for like 150 an hour is, I think, a good middle point for a new skill. I think if you make it too slow, it's gonna be dead on arrival. If you make it too fast, it's gonna be extremely dead on arrival.
Right. I think there's going to be kind of a lot of passive ways to do it too, right? Like I remember talking about
Yeah, like
what do they
charting.
call it, chartering or whatever, when you pick up
Charting.
packages and take them somewhere else. Yeah, and it's
No,
kind of
no,
almost like a
that
daily.
that
And
was
a lot of
a
people rag on dailies, but it's at least
the
an okay idea to have out there, right? Like, well, you can have your daily methods, or you can go out and intensively train it, or kind of passively, just as you use sailing to do things for other reasons. I'm almost as excited just for the process of like the series of surveys and polls and beta testing worlds and stuff like that as like we all kind of collectively shape our vision for what sailing should be. But that does come from a place of like feeling like I have faith in our dev team, right?
For sure. What were you saying about plundering?
Oh yeah, so the that was courier was the transporting
Yeah.
things, and then
Yeah.
charting was like mapping out the ocean. That would be a more passive thing, or you do it once and then you get like an XP drop, and then that's it. Like as you chart each area, then you gain like XP for mapping out
Yeah.
everything, and then that's just like a one-time XP drop.
I also think sailing is like the most old school authentic new skill. To me, it makes perfect sense that when they finally add a new skill to old school that it's going to be sailing, right? If really for no other reason than just that it's like been something the community's talked about for 20 years or whatever, right?
I think it makes sense also just because there's already charter ships and stuff.
Yeah.
And like being able to learn how to do it for yourself makes sense as a skill. Like
Just the
instead
fact
of
that maps
having to
have so
pay
much
somebody else,
water, right?
yeah, instead of having to pay somebody else to do it, you can just learn how to sail yourself. That's like an actual. That's like how things work, you
They
know.
would totally have to redo Bon Voyage though to like
I think.
fit
I
that
mean, I
differently.
don't think they have to redo it, but it's just not gonna be like that for this skill.
I just mean the mechanics of sailing from the mainland out to Fossil Island or whatever, right? 'Cause I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
brief period where everybody was like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna try to make that into a skill."
yeah, that's definitely not going to be how the skill is
Yeah,
going to be.
no way, not even a
But
lie.
but I don't necessarily think that it's like worth it for them to redo that like sequence just
I mean, they
because
wouldn't have to. It would make sense though if they did.
It makes sense, but it's like,
I don't
does
know how
anybody really care about
energy intensive that would be for them.
about a 5-minute part in one quest?
They've redone 5-minute parts in quests before, haven't they? I'd have
Yeah,
to think
that
about
was
it.
like for fucking diversity shit.
You just mean recruitment drive?
No, lunar
Oh.
diplomacy, bro. They took away the part where your own self calls yourself fat.
Really?
When like, yeah, when the entire part of the quest is supposed to be like overcoming your own like inadequacies and shit.
I never even noticed that when I redid it recently.
Like,
That sounds
and
vaguely familiar.
yeah, and I just don't get why they would do that when it was like it actually had to do with the storyline and everything.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really take away from the storyline, does it?
I
Because
mean,
as far as like
I don't think the way it
development goes,
was,
they just had to open the code and backspace the one line of text or whatever the hell, right? I don't know.
bro, it literally called yourself fat. Like, people can't be that upset over that.
I don't imagine anybody was.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do something like that.
And,
Seems
like last I saw, I think they even made the thing like arguably more offensive by like making fun of their language or something, or like how they talked, like calling them dumb instead of fat.
Yeah, going from fat to dumb is definitely a lateral move, at least.
I was trying to see.
They're fucking dumb as fuck, dude.
I was trying to see if there was like a change log for it in the quest guide on the wiki, but there's not. Oh wait, hold on. Me? Oh, you're right. Yeah, December 22. The line in which me says, "You do know those clothes make you look fat," has been replaced by, "You've got an outrageous accent, you silly thing." Yeah, I don't know. I would say outrageous accent is probably worse.
Yeah. That was definitely a questionable move by them.
Yeah, I don't, there's some weird
That's
things
the
that
kind
they
of thing that I
do.
see. It's just like no point to care.
Yeah, exactly. Like the game, this is literally a backup from 2007. The game we're playing right now is nearly 20 years old. Like based on an engine 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The fact that like it went along with the story of the quest, like you're overcoming your own inadequacy, and that's how like you win the quest by like getting over your own insecurities and shit. And then they just remove that part, so then it has like a less of an impact.
You think that changed the impact it had on anybody? I don't know.
I doubt
Probably
it.
not, but I don't think that fat line had any impact on anybody either.
Yeah, I'd at least agree with that. Probably.
I wonder if they're gonna change like all the desert people being named Ali, because there's that one quest where they're like they go into why everybody changed their name to Ali is because there's like some fortune, and the person who left the fortune said to Ali, but he didn't leave a last name, so then everybody changed their name to Ali, so then they could like try to claim the fortune.
That's way less racist than I always thought it was.
Exactly. So if they changed it, then it's just like acknowledging that it was racist in the first place, even though it wasn't.
Huh. That's funny.
I think in RS3 they did change all of their names.
Story.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they did that. They did that here, didn't they?
No, not for the desert thing. Not yet.
I'm sure there are things that they look back and they're like, we should change this or whatever. And I think 99.9% of people just don't care because that's just how the game has been forever. So, I mean,
Well, they don't, and I think that's the thing is like the people who get mad that they make those changes are just as ridiculous as anybody who might have actually gotten mad about them in the first place, right?
100%.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not
Either
mad.
way, it's a dumb thing to care about.
I'm just questioning why they would waste their time doing that when they could do something that's more productive.
100%.
Like, if nobody cares, then why even do it then?
In their defense, half the time the shit that they try to be productive about, everybody just shuts down anyway.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation for the mods of Red Jagex
Yeah,
today.
like, I don't know. I'll just do some virtue signaling over here while community figures out what I'm allowed to work on.
Do you guys have anything else you want to go off on sailing, or do you want to go through the next game jam proposal that they did?
What was that?
Game Jam Slayer Monsters Smorgasbord.
I skipped the Slayer Monsters because the next one was way more interesting, and that was the Hunter Crafting Skilling Boss, the King Kayet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You did read about that.
That's when we need more hunting content.
Yeah. After rumors, it was kind of like I mean, this sounds interesting too. It depends on like what the rates are going to be,
It
etc.
might be good. I haven't looked at it. It's funny because I think hunting is also a victim of its own like general utility. It's just super easy to come up with ideas for hunter just because of what it is.
Yeah.
So it just ends up being like the most dynamic skill that we have.
Right.
I think some of the techniques that they are proposing. So at the bottom it says hunter techniques will be KC based rewards, where after a number of successful encounters have been completed, they can now learn new techniques, including first one is craft a stake for infinite pitfalls or deadfalls, removing the need to cut logs. So that would be a huge change for hunter rumors.
Yeah, that'd be
cool.
nice.
Ability to set 2 pitfalls and deadfalls at once, which I've always thought it's weird that you can't.
Yeah.
Ability to craft hunter gear yourself, so instead of bringing it to like the fancy dress person. Ability to make stackable omni bait to make baiting traps easier, save inventory space. That seems pretty useless.
Yeah. Are they gonna make baiting traps worth doing?
It looks
Probably
like baiting the traps it'll be like specifically for the boss.
Oh,
Okay.
And then the last one will be it'll work across the game, but it seems like one part of it will be to bait the boss, and you'll probably have to do that for the boss at least.
Yeah, I feel like adding an extra click to bait the trap is just not worth it because you can just let it fail and then reset it.
And then the last one was ability to transmog the Quetzal into a raven, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I don't use
I'm
pets,
always
but I would do a
cosmetic.
raven pet.
No way I would do that transmog though. Quetzal looks so good.
I mean, both of them look good.
Yeah,
Well,
Raven is cool.
And then the
Yeah.
proposed rewards for the game jam were like those are just the hunter technique rewards. The actual rewards were the Kayat pelt, crafting it into the spottiest cape, increased catch rate, more weight reduction. Kayat leather can be used in the hunter guild to get a new outfit cosmetic, which I think looks pretty good based on what they posted here. Kayat hairball used to sew rogue gloves and gloves of silence into an item called gloves of rogue silence with combined
That's been needed for so long.
Yeah, that one wouldn't be bad at all. That wouldn't be nice.
That's awesome.
And then
I like
the
that.
Kayat first scrapped using the Kayat outfit for temporary upgrade, which removes damage from hunter creatures. Will degrade over time, but X amount of upgrade is like a permanent buff. Which seems fairly useless for most people, but if you're doing for any reason, I guess for like this boss, it would probably be pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably mostly for the boss.
I mean, I used the polar kebit for before I had the outfit when doing the deadfall traps, like the moonlight antelopes, because
Yeah.
it reduced the max hit from like 5 to 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe it is a bit more useful than for like some niche things. So, because I know that like when people make new Iron Men, one thing that people can choose to do now is rushing hunter rumors for all the supplies.
Mhm. Yeah. But
So-
yeah, it does. It reduces the max hit from 5 to 2. That's pretty huge for a 10 HP account.
Combining the rogue gloves and gloves of silence, dude, we've needed that forever. Because like
Yeah.
gloves of silence are like almost cool, but there's just like never going to be a point where you not wear your rogue's outfit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's taken them that long to do that. Because gloves of silence came out in 2006.
Something like that. And these are just game jam items too. They're not even things that are going to be pulled or proposed yet, which it's fun to think about them. What could be.
Yeah, I'd vote
Yeah.
for that.
I'm definitely in favor of an encounter like this.
I I'm also in favor. I worry about the quote unquote skilling boss thing, but that one seems like it's the most on theme
Yeah,
as far
definitely.
as anything we've gotten so
Yeah.
far.
Winter Tot's like silly, but I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I feel like fire making kind of did need a whole other method that seemed to have any purpose at all, right?
Oh, I agree. I do
like
not disagree with that
Temperoth.
statement at all.
I think Guardians of the Rift, even though I don't really enjoy playing it, I do think it's really good content, and it made runecrafting bearable for a lot of people, which is important for the survival of the game, you know. And like thematically, it makes good sense. It's well designed.
Yeah,
At this point, dude, honestly, you might as well do the skilling boss for every skill. Probably would prefer they kept him out of combat achievements, though. That's kind of dumb.
yeah, I've always thought that having Wintertodt and Temperos based combat achievements were kind of silly, especially like the one where you have to wear the full angler's outfit. That just it's just like whatever.
But if they didn't have that, then us level 3s wouldn't be able to get like the combat achievements.
What do you mean, dude? Randy
That's
got
true.
the fucking hard hilt.
Bro, he wouldn't have been able to get.
Doable.
Bro, first off, you can't. He wouldn't have done that without Mori access. Second
Yeah,
off,
I know.
and even if he could have done it without Mori access, he wouldn't have been able to do it if he also wasn't able to do or get points through the skilling
Those ones
bosses.
already, right?
Yeah, there's just so much gray area when it comes to like the combat achievements and all that stuff. But yeah, like we said, I think when they made Wintertodt, it was almost like a beta test. They were like, what would people like something like this? And then it was overwhelmingly positive because it was fast, because fire making was already fast, and it wasn't like boring as hell, unless you're doing it for 1,000 hours.
Anything. For sure.
And then Temperos is kind of a middle ground for me. It's decent.
I like Temperos.
I like solo Temperos.
Temperos is, I think, is my favorite, like gameplay wise, just because it's so consistent.
Yeah, I think I like Temperos more than Wintertodt too.
I'll let you guys know when I finish tournament fishing at Temperos how much I like either one.
Oh, and it also it like affected the game, like the wider game, the least, I think.
Yeah, it was balanced really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
But Wintertodt was supposed to, though. Wintertodt was supposed to like kind of change our approach to fire making, because it was both intensive, boring, and useless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
this
true.
Is like a really tedious, shitty skill that cost money that you got nothing out of at all, right? Even though it was fast, that was like literally all I had going for it.
Yeah, imagine if fire making was always slow too. Nobody would ever have got 99.
Oh man. I always wondered, like, they should do more stuff like those ever burning fires or whatever the hell, right? There should be more stuff like that. Maybe not a lot more, but I like that there are like world uses for it. So other than that, like fire making isn't really integrated into much of the game in any way, especially before Wintertodt.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back the dwarven hand cannon.
Whoa. Unpopular opinion, I think that'd be fucking dope. I love to walk around with hand cannons.
Dude, I loved watching people like accidentally, when it backfires and they damage themselves.
It just randomly did that?
Yeah, if you didn't have a high enough fire making level, or like the higher fire making level you had, like the lower chance it happened.
Huh.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sounds like a horrible mechanic, honestly.
It's hilarious though.
Yeah.
All right, the next part of the game jam that we're going to be looking at here is the cacao trees and chocolate brewing. So they're looking at, this was like another proposal from a different mod. Which mod was it? Mod West. So Mod West talks about a little farming expansion, 60 farming requirement to plant cacao seeds, hot peppers for 55 farming. And then a new place to plant things called the Garden of Raylos. So yeah, looks like and these offering like a little bit of potions with it too. So spicy cocoa liquor, requiring chocolate paste, Harlander's corn syrups, and chili powder. 10% energy per sip, 30% energy reduction to energy drain. That's pretty good. And then the sweet cocoa liquor would be chocolate paste, Avanto, honey, and vanilla pods. 20% energy per sip, 50% energy reduction drain. What do you guys think about a little bit of farming expansion, a new place to farm, new items?
Well, isn't
I don't
the
know how I
ring of
feel about energy stuff. Like it seems fine. I just don't know if it's like useful.
yeah, like, especially now,
Reduction to
but
drain.
like
Yeah. Since the rework, I have not needed energy potions at all with 99 agility. Anywhere. I've done like full farming runs and shit and not had any problems.
yeah, plus isn't like the ring of endurance only a 15% reduction to energy drain?
I would have to look it up. Ring of Endurance, OSRS. It is a... What is the...
Oh, there's a construction rework in here, dude.
Passive 15%.
No, it was a
I
mounted
think.
trophy rework.
That's part of construction, yeah.
That is part of construction. Yeah, that's next. That's next. Ring of Endurance, 70 agility, charged. Ring counts as a certain item. 2 effects. Stamina. Oh, it basically just gives you a stamina potion effect.
Right, but the passive, it reduces the run energy drain.
15%.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, and this new item is going to be 50%. Like, that's kind of broken.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just like I said, it's just a game jam thing. I think that's probably the least exciting
Well,
part.
yeah.
Like the brewing is probably the least exciting part I've seen. I think you could do something way cooler with it.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about the whole farming thing
I
because
wouldn't
like
use Avantos on that as
'cause-
an Iron Man either, I don't think.
'cause
Unless I
if
really
the-
need 50% reduction is a lot, but
if the brewing part is useless, then the farming part is also like
It's just another tree to add to your runs for more XP, basically.
yeah. I'd rather have like an actual purpose.
did you ever see that Gentle Tractor proposal for the farming guild before they had one?
I
And he had that
think so.
whole thing charted out on how to make like a food that's useful that comes from farming rather than fishing. I always thought that would be cool. I think that seems like
We got hunter meats now.
Yeah, the hunter meat's kind of
Yeah.
fixed that problem.
a little bit. I mean, you still could do it from farming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about adding extra patches. I'm pretty meh. If this was like an activity, maybe.
Extra Bolodana patch, please.
Yo, true.
Just level 3 is the only people in the whole game that would even think of that.
Pet hunters.
Rui.
Yeah, because it says that the Garden of Ralos would add cacao, flowers, calquats. Another calquat tree isn't bad.
Those are OP though. It seems like they'd be kind of a pain in the ass to make also.
Yeah,
Right,
because
you
you
gotta
need
make the paste.
you need the calquat.
Grow the
Like-
peppers.
Make corn
Yeah,
syrup.
Well, I guess this is all tradable or whatever.
Yeah, no, that seems like the least exciting thing we've seen so far in this game jam. So, kind of leaning towards whatever on that one.
Yeah.
I would need to see a change in the liquors as to what they would do. I don't want a run energy thing, especially like you said, I said after the run energy changes, just feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, whether or not it's even broken aside, I feel like they could, with new content, I feel like they should be trying to come up with something more interesting than that.
yeah. And then, like Iggy was alluding to, the mounted trophy rework by none other than Mod Ash, the GOAT. So looks like, before we kick off this pitch, we want to talk about player-owned house proposals from the last game jam. Yes was voted massive amount of work.
Just be able to right click your trophy thing and display a different one like you do with jar cases.
Yeah, that sounds like they want to do. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I ain't nothing to get like real excited about though.
Yeah, just quality of life things for people who have the trophies, like iron, basically just irons. And then miscellaneous things by Mon Necro. First one is a Holy Wrench, giving you bonus prayer points per dose at level. So changing it to instead of just being a flat 1 across the board, it'd be at level 60 prayer. You get 2 bonus points per dose, and that might actually make the Holy Wrench pretty useful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's tight. That'd be cool. I didn't even know how it worked mechanically. I actually thought it just gave +1. Just flat. I don't even know. I use it sometimes, like a Serb in places where I go through like hella prayer doses.
So it looks like in the thing they say on paper, the Holy Wrench increases the number of prayer points restored by 2%. So it says that like, yeah, it's really inconsistent. It looks like.
Yeah.
Because like at 92 you get 1, but at 91 you get 2. I don't know. That's weird.
That is weird. What the hell?
Yeah.
Who's responsible for that?
Whoever made it in the first place, I guess. Yeah, a flattened piece would be great.
2 at 67, 1 at 68. What the fuck? And then you get up to 96, you're back down to 1 again. That's weird. That is way weird.
Percentages, man.
It looks way more linear on like Sanfew serums and super restores though.
Yeah, I think it's probably just prayer potions that get screwed over. And then they also proposed a change instead of. Go ahead, sorry.
That's weird. Oh, I was just saying, it's what I'm looking at. The ones that look linear is just how much points those potions restore. It doesn't have anything to do with the Holy Wrench.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just the column on the left. Yeah, so it is totally nonsensical.
And then the second proposal for the Holy Wrench was devout points. So if you have the wrench on you, you would give you a amount of devout points, and if you have devout points instead of, you'll have a 50% chance to avoid prayer points draining, which I think would be cool, but also would make some of those combat tasks where you can't lose any prayer points during the encounter a lot easier.
Yeah, true.
Sort of. I feel like in the what is like the fight caves one where you can't lose a prayer point or whatever, you probably couldn't like bank on that getting you through the whole thing though. At least not at the fight.
No,
cave.
But if you mess up a flick, it would give you a 50% chance to like save the run.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. I'd like to hear thoughts on that from people. Maybe.
I think it just it overcomplicates things.
Yeah, I think just changing it to the flattening the bonuses just feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then next one is a sheep AI fix. That's long overdue.
I'd say that's unnecessary because I just did the quest on a new alt and it took me like 5 minutes. So, skill issue, honestly.
Never hurts to fix the skill issue though, you know?
It's a personal problem.
It's fair. And then the last one is the rarer loot table and black steel ingots. So basically, it sounds like they want to do an upgrade to the rare loot table, make a rarer loot table, which is averaged between 100,000 and 400,000 GP instead of 8,000 GP on average with the rare loot table.
It'd be cool. I really like the idea of RDT, and like, I imagine like RuneScape Classic or whatever the hell, when it was integrated, it was a really exciting thing for everybody. You know, it's just kind of the growth of the game over 30 years has made it pretty dismissible.
100%, yeah.
Drop table.
And then the black steel ingot would allow you to reinforce the dragon square shield to basically give it dragon fire immunity. So basically a mid-range shield between the anti-dragon shield and the DFS.
That'd be cool too. I'd like that.
Bro, that's like way better than the anti-dragon
Yeah, and it would actually give a mid-range thing, like, so when you're doing like Dragon Slayer 2, you could actually have a decent shield.
Yeah.
Because by the time you're
And-
doing
Yeah,
Dragon
that's
Slayer 2 on an account, you probably don't have a DFS if you're an iron.
Yep, problem. And also,
No,
Uh,
yeah.
square shields don't have a negative range bonus, I don't think anymore.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, square shields, chainmail, and med helms. That was all Project Rebalance, wasn't it? When they redid like Black D-Hide and shit.
That was like the original rebalance.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, I'd be cool with that. It'd be cool just to like make the D square great again, right?
make the D square great again. The only thing it's used for is making it for the RD hard die array, basically, right?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, generally, before you get to something with either a range damage bonus or a strength bonus, you don't even really care about a fucking shield at all, right?
Yeah.
It's usually using a defender or
Be a
Something with-
decent tank shield.
yeah, maybe for like learning Inferno or whatever. People use shields. Shields are just
PK.
kind of underutilized in general. I mean, right? Outside of Dragonfire shields.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think like I really like in general, I really like when the devs are able to kind of do a passion project for the game jam
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and show us
Me
what
too.
they like really would like to bring to the game, because I think there's a lot
I don't know. I
of
was trying to see
cool
what other
ideas.
Game Jam stuff has been brought to the game before. Google's like useless these days. So it drives me insane.
like stuff that's actually Like,
Come
Ben-
from Game
come-
Jams. I know that we've had cool stuff come from Game Jams. I just don't, off the top of my head, know what any of it was.
The recent menu thing.
Oh yeah.
I think
And
the
then
collection log
the-
thing was as well.
Yep. And then
Okay.
and
Yeah,
then
that was huge.
and then there was another one. Oh, bank locking, inventory locking slots.
Oh, that
thing.
one just like last week.
Yeah.
That one's
Oh,
pretty
the-
good.
All of those are game jam stuff.
I think the one that
Sepulchre-
people are waiting
Wasn't
for.
Sep-
Wait, was
wasn't
it?
Sepulchre a game jam thing?
Let's look it up. Let's take a look at the old school RuneScape wiki page.
It was
Trivia.
either that or Inferno was a game jam thing, I think.
I'm thinking maybe Triple Jads was a Game Jam thing, or what's that little special challenge thing?
Oh,
Was that Game Jam?
the Tazar challenges.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I feel like we've had a lot of things from Game Jams that people liked, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to look at a list, but
Yeah, I think as far as like what we just talked about, I think the most likely thing I would like to see is the hunter one. And I think the Holy Wrench change, that would be a nice
that would be cool
for lower
That
level
would be,
accounts.
would that apply to the Ring of the Gods too? I actually just recently found out that the Ring of the Gods like provides the
yeah.
Holy Wrench effect.
I presume
it
it
would.
would.
Yeah, that'd be tight. Actually, Ring of the Gods is
Yeah,
a pretty
that'd
cool
be-
item.
That'd be nice.
Yo, start panic buying Ring of the Gods now?
Ooh, price check. 2.8 mil. Man, remember when they were like 14 mil?
Yeah.
I think Vedion got ruined by bots.
Yeah.
It's still like, unfortunately, it's like still the easiest boss to do, I think, nowadays.
Yeah, because you can basically take no damage at Vedion. I think you're taking some amount of damage at, well, like Solo Callisto's super aids anytime I've ever done it.
Okay.
I have like mid-level iron experience of it though. I think on a main it probably wouldn't be too bad.
True. Next thing we're going to look at here is Poll 83, which came out December 24th, 26. You guys vote in Poll 83? It was the big thing was the Castle Wars changes. Have you guys looked at those at all?
I remember thinking it sounded really badass. I don't remember a lot of the specifics. I did vote on that one.
It basically it is adding reward crates, changing Castle Wars themed worlds to ensure balanced teams, and providing extra Castle Wars tickets for playing on the themed world. So basically incentivizing people to go back to playing Castle Wars and just AFKing it.
Yeah, that'd be tight. I think they proposed XP rewards, right? I don't know if it needs all that. Maybe that might. I don't know.
The biggest things look like it's been basically changing the barricades and all that stuff to be more appropriate with how Castle Wars acted in 2008. So basically making the minigame more like enjoyable or more quality of life.
Castle Wars could use some love for sure.
Yeah.
I think it as something that probably most of the community holds in some kind of like nostalgic regard. I think people would appreciate it getting some love as long as it was done right and stuff, and just making it more enjoyable. Probably most of
I don't know about the reward crates though.
Yeah.
Do we need Soul Wars V2?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I try not to make my opinions based off of like how bots are going to abuse fucking everything, right? That shouldn't. I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some responsible degree of that, but it sucks to think that we have to like update the game around bots ruining shit.
Yeah, true.
So that'd be the main problem with that, really, right? Because otherwise, if it was like 300K an hour, it'd probably just bring a bunch of people who've played the game for a year to Castle Wars, which is probably good.
Yeah, I don't know. I would see some nice updates to Castle Wars. I know there's a big underground Castle Wars community that would probably have some good opinions on that, and that would be something
Right.
that I
If
think
I
that they
remember
would
right-
talk about.
Yeah, if I remember right from this blog post, they specifically said they were like in communication with that community of people, right?
Yeah.
I want to see if I can find that because I'm almost positive that they said that outright.
Yeah, 'cause I think that's where the idea to change how like barricades work and all that stuff, and a few of the other small changes, like allowing people to wear their own helmets instead of Castle Wars, because I think right now you can't.
Yeah. Either that or capes, actually.
Yeah. And Iggy, while you look for that, we'll look at the next thing on poll 83, which is adding crabs to Slayer tasks. Whatever. Sounds fine to me. Any hard opinions on adding crabs?
Yeah. No,
I feel
not
like-
really.
I feel like that'd be kind of annoying.
It would only be to
Annoying, you think?
Mazkana, Vonica, and Sheldar.
Okay, that wouldn't be that bad, I guess. But like, also, do you really want to get a crab task and spend half of the time hopping worlds?
Well, they have high hit points, so they'd be good XP tasks. If you're just going to the beginner Slayer Masters, you're probably not much of a RuneScape player, right? Or maybe a weird niche build or something. But I feel like actually manually going through the first 20, 30 levels of Slayer is pretty AIDS. So if you're not the kind of person who's just skipping that with quests and shit anyway, then that would probably largely not affect you.
So that's
Yeah.
funny that you bring that up, Iggy, because that's the exact thing that they say as to why this poll was added. There's no clear in-game introduction to this popular training method. People look for outside resources to find like what's the best combat training methods at low levels, and this would give them the opportunity to figure out, oh, these crabs they don't hit high, they have high HP, and I can relax. It's not like I'm not worried about dying every 5 seconds if I'm killing like hobgoblins or something,
Yeah. Or suffering through Zygomite tasks or whatever, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be all right. 'Cause it's like, I want to go AFK some crabs. I'll spend 20 minutes trying to get a task for it. I feel like that'd be okay. The only thing I'm thinking about the Castle Wars, I didn't read the whole thing. It says, we've considered all you Castle Wars veterans as well. So we're splitting these changes into 2 camps. Change to themed Castle Wars worlds and changes to all the other worlds.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're in there about like referring directly to like the Castle Wars subreddit or some shit.
Yeah. And then the next 3 sections are all just like quality of life things, prayer drain rate indicators. So adding prayer drain rate, like information to the prayer skill guide, skill interface summaries. So kind of expanding on the skill guides as to, some extra tools on those things, and then fairy ring map icons. So where the fairy rings
Very
are on the
cool.
map, like adding the code to get there on the map instead of having to like. I think that's in
Yeah.
RuneLight right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to
Probably.
like scroll over it.
Yeah. It'd be annoying as shit to not have it all though.
I used to have a page bookmarked on my Chrome that brought me to like the fairy ring list.
How many fairy ring codes do you have memorized?
None.
None.
I don't use them. Actually,
Oh,
that's a lie.
man.
I think CIS is the farming guild, right?
Yeah. The CIR's Arceus library. I remember quite a few, I think. BJS, Zulra.
And then they did some other miscellaneous changes, forestry,
R1 LP, something LP.
something like that. Oh my god!
DLP, right?
I know. BKQ is Caliphite Queen, I think, right?
AKQ?
I thought it was BKQ.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments if I'm wrong or right.
BIQ. Yeah, BIQ, I think.
Ooh, this is a cool. Yeah, you're right. It's
Be fun
BIQ
trivia.
is the Slayer. Is yeah, KQ. Yeah. Slayer Cape effect to Konar, changing it so that when you reroll a task with a Slayer Cape at Konar, she gives you the same location. I know people love that one.
Isn't that as likely to be annoying as it is good?
Correct.
You
So
can
Well,
just
it would
not,
be using your Slayer cape, right? Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can just not wear it or something.
Right. Yes, that's probably good.
next one is Tithe Farm Shop and Farming Contract Improvements. Adding seed packs as a purchasable reward from Tithe Farm. I don't know how I feel about that.
Didn't they do that already?
Let's look. Let me look.
No, it's just herb packs, I think.
It's just herd packs in there for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you said food packs. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it would allow actually us to get white lily seeds.
Mm.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. I guess not a big deal either, but I don't know. I feel like Tithe could use some love. I enjoy Tithe for some reason.
It's better now.
I'm gonna do Tithe next week for farming week.
Good luck. I need to
yeah.
just get 99 farming on Mayfield so I have the farming guild teleport.
I already made 25 spirit saplings. I'm gonna win farming week, dude. I just got to beat Trib. I think he's really the only person who's, but he's not tryharding either. He's just doing farming like normal.
And then one thing that's actually already in the game is chromium. They can now smell chromium ingots for the DT2 bosses.
Yeah. I mean,
What did they? I didn't look into what that meant.
So you
They
can
had-
so instead of like having only get as a drop, you can
40
smelt them
adding
with
40 rune
yeah
bars.
40.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a heavy cost.
That is a lot, but I mean, if you got an early vestige, it'd be worth it for sure on iron.
it's not even just if you get it early. It's like if you get them all the vestiges on rate, then you don't have enough ingots to craft them all. Like
Oh,
most
really? I
cycles.
just kind of assumed that they were balanced
Yeah.
appropriately. Did that change the price of ingots at all?
I'm sure it did.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I
90K?
doubt. I don't think it did then because they're more expensive to do it the other way now, or to do it the
Yeah.
Iron Man way.
That's probably by design then.
I think they're
Yeah.
just that cheap because they're common enough, right?
Right.
All right, that's kind of it for Poll 83 as far as things that need to be looked at. Next big one is going to be the run energy changes and updates on the Varlamore Part 3, the final part of Varlamore. So, sounds like Iggy, you've already had your fair share of run energy changes. So, Plun, how do you feel about the run energy changes?
Well, it's pretty good timing because I recently built a new alt, and it was only 40 agility for like the longest time. And I definitely noticed like a huge difference before and after the update. Like I was building it during like the whole time that they were updating it. So
Mhm.
I got like a direct comparison, kind of. Definitely noticeable, and it was good. It's nice.
Feels overdue.
Right. I didn't do a whole lot of content, I think, where I'd really have noticed. I haven't been to like Zaya Bloods in a while. I'd probably be able to tell there. This is my only account with 99 though.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't noticed it a lot on my hardcore that has 75, but Mayfield has 99. So that usually, it was pretty rare that I ever ran out anyway on things that like I wasn't actively doing. So
Right. I don't know, even like before the changes, like on my peer doing Bloods and Souls with like 85 agility, it wasn't too bad anyway.
mm,
A little bit of improvement would have been nice though, for sure. They have always kind of had a problem where agility didn't feel rewarding enough for how like really grindy it actually is.
yeah.
Even in like shortcuts and stuff, like it doesn't really like reduce the time that it takes to go places and shit.
I mean, the
This is supposed to be
Dagonoth
good.
Kings one
They
was
have done some
huge.
balances on that one is really nice. It's like all of a sudden I am willing to do DKs.
You guys see that Soup's an unusual moneymaker using that. If you have the DK's teleport thing and then also Fremi diary to get back there, then you can sell kegs of beer to this kid.
Oh
money.
yeah, I
And
did
it's
see
like
that.
and it's like 300k cash per hour pure profit, and you don't need anything other than like the diary and the shortcut. Would be pretty nice for irons.
It's all fixed rates too. Like it doesn't ever change.
Yeah, and
on game.
irons can do it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, if you're an Iron Man who's like really hurting for money.
Yeah, I don't really see any unless you're doing some kind of rebuild challenge or something. I don't think it had any practical use, but it's interesting at least. It does sound like something that bots would do if it was any easier to
Yeah.
get the requirements for.
All right, as far as all that goes, that's kind of the end of. I mean, run energy. Well, that was pretty self-explanatory. It's run energy. I know we're getting close to our 2-hour mark, so I think the final thing we'll talk about here before we dive into like the outro is going to be the delve boss mechanics and the collection log updates recently. So have either of you looked into the delve boss mechanics for the
but I saw that No
new?
Monkey was crying about it.
I read like the blog posts and stuff, but yeah. The boots up, the new BIS boots, I think those are cool. Like, I guess people don't really feel like boots are worth switching for, so everybody's like okay with it being best for all styles. So
Like a good
That's
tri-bread boot, yeah.
That's an item that hasn't gotten a new best in slot for like a really long time too.
Since
yeah,
Cerberus.
Yeah, like the Serb's an pretty old boss, right?
It was
and
2016 or 2017.
yeah, and aren't prims already 5 melee bonus?
Yeah.
And so that means that the rangers are the only ones getting like an upgrade, really.
Yeah, this is basically just mashing all of them together with a little bit of upgrade on some parts.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine.
Yeah, and then I definitely think that their change from going to the veil to the necklace upgrade is better. Like, since the occult got nerfed, now there's like room for them to improve the necklace slot.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did like that minimum hit thing on the veil that they had earlier. Minimum hit of 2.
Oh, so they've changed this since then?
Yeah, there's not going to be a minimum hit thing.
Oh, I wasn't reading the right one. I wasn't reading the update one. I was reading the regular one. That was my bad.
Yeah, so now instead of plus 1% magic damage and 2 minimum hit, it's just going to be plus 2% magic damage.
I like giving it the 65 ring crafting and 65 crafting to combine as well. Giving ring crafting a little bit more uses outside of just the basics.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thrall upgrade, replacement. I think the most interesting part of all this, though, is the delve boss mechanics, though. It'll be the first time we get something similar of that.
Yeah, it's like a perpetual enrage or whatever.
Yeah, I think it only goes back to a certain... I think it only goes up to a certain level, though.
Yeah, the 8th, like, delve thing.
Which
I was looking forward to it being like a perpetual. You can go as high as it'll continue getting harder and harder and harder.
like in a rage mechanic, yeah.
Yeah, there's something like that in RS3, right?
Yeah, they have a bunch of bosses in rage.
Yeah, but then they're like mentioning how the what's it called? Environmental effects are gonna like persist. So I'm wondering if you beat or delve level 8 and then you go back to it again, will all of the additional environmental stuff also, like, will you continue getting more environmental like obstacles and that kind of stuff spawning in to continue making it harder?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I wonder, like you said, and if it compounds, could you like be 8 and then like prestige 1, so it's technically 9?
Yeah, like I don't think it'll do that, but I just want the fight to continue getting harder. It doesn't have to necessarily be stats or mechanics, but and even if it's just an environmental thing like having to be wary of where you're positioning certain obstacles and that kind of stuff, then that could still be like an indirect difficulty increase.
For sure.
Yeah, because it would be hard to do like a ever increasing difficulty of waves.
Yeah.
Without it just either getting like really dumb or being something that you could like cheese or
right.
Basically, the boss is like getting more health and more stats.
Yeah, that doesn't really make anything more difficult, right? It just makes it longer, which I don't think is what anybody wants. I don't know. I think the idea of it though is definitely something that people would enjoy if it was done right and if they communicated with like PVM communities, they'd probably be able to figure something out pretty cool with it.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Weren't they talking about the Colosseum being something like that, right? And then it just ended up not being anything like that.
No, I don't think they were. It was similar in like the loot system, but not like the.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not like the enrage thing.
There's more Barlamore content I haven't done at all.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I wasn't really aware of like a whole bunch of negative feedback regarding this delve boss.
Am I tripping? I swore No Monkey had a video about how bad it was.
Oh, okay.
I had to look, and I didn't watch it. I just like saw a video thumbnail or
And
something.
when did he post that? And like after which update to the thing?
Looking.
Because I'd imagine it was probably right after they said that it's not going to be a never-ending enrage thing.
Yeah, so his thumbnail is no rewards and dead content. New enrage boss.
Well,
sounds negative, but I didn't actually watch it, so I don't really.
Yeah, I mean,
usually bother much with the.
I could understand like the part about it not continuing to get harder because I know that's like what the ultra high level PVMers want.
Yeah,
and that makes sense. But like I said earlier, if like the environmental effects are still stacking up as you continue doing the 8th delve wave thing, then it'll probably be harder anyway. They don't have to like necessarily make it
right. If it's mechanically good enough, is the HLC even looking for rewards and shit, or are they just looking for a good challenge and like a scoreboard, right?
Bro, I don't even know if they want better rewards.
I don't know what those people want.
like they want challenging shit.
They want to complain.
They want challenging shit, but then like if the rewards aren't good, then it's bad. But if the rewards are too good, then it's bad.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose.
if they're approaching it as just like, here is something that is mechanically challenging and that's fucking it, then
I mean,
I don't
it's
know
still
what they would complain
profitable,
about.
and like the boots are nice. 'cause
Right.
it's- And then the necklace is like definitely not dead content. It's flat 2% damage bonus now.
Yeah, I just have to
And
watch it.
I feel like the
That seems negative.
1%. I feel like the 1% damage bonus and the minimum 2 hit would have been better than 2% damage bonus, but or it would have felt better at least.
Zero's in like a what, 45 or something?
What do you guys
It's
think
probably pretty close to the same, actually.
I was like, what do you guys think the
I
new
might be
quest
wrong.
reward item is going to be? Because they said it would be a spoiler if they spoilerific.
Is it the Dragon Simi like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weapon that's similar to it, but a little bit weaker, and it has a better special attack.
What do you guys think it's going to be?
Prayer
Because they said
penetration one?
it's like it's the burn one.
Are they still
Yeah,
doing burn?
yeah, and it has. They say it's a stab weapon or a slash.
72
Slash.
or stab, 11 slash.
Okay.
64 melee strength, which is a whip is 70, right? Or 60?
I don't know. I don't think it's. I think the spoiler is just like it's not like an important spoiler. It's just a spoiler in like the lore sense.
Oh,
This is
gotcha.
are we talking about the tech paddle?
No,
No,
I'm
it's-
talking about the
Oh,
new
I'm looking at
melee
something else
weapon.
then.
Then at the very, very bottom of the blog, it's the Final Dawn quest reward. It's going to be a new melee weapon. 50% spec.
just-
Good.
It's basically a Dragon Simi, but slightly different. Like it has 2 less melee strength, but then the special attack is better, or it's
Oh, yeah, so
DPS
it's fine.
based.
55 stab, 70 slash. Although the D skim will still be more favorable. And I don't know why they always do that, man. It's like they only half commit to some of their proposals sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, the
Special
special attack is still going to be like,
Upgrade the next single hit 50% accuracy, 50% damage. That is big.
and it's a 30% special attack thing.
Okay, so that is a spec weapon then, really, right?
Yeah.
Like mid levels, mid game
Yeah.
spec weapon. I think the burn ended up being kind of like more powerful than anybody realized at first, just because getting raw bonus numbers to your damage is
But 10 damage over 40 ticks is kind of like bad, but it can stack. But like, I don't know.
well,
have-
right. But I mean, comparing it
if
only
you-
to like other spec weapons, just giving it 10 extra damage on top of 50% extra damage.
Yeah, true.
You know, I mean, it might not be all the way up with Dragon Claws or whatever, but
Yeah. Or the
that is
burning
what ended
claws.
up making the Burning Claws technically better than D Claws, right? Or am I making
Right.
that up?
Yeah. For certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I think that kind of wraps up a lot of. I know we missed some things. I'm sure we skipped over some things, but there's only so much time in the day, right? So before we get into the exit, do you guys want to go through some of the Golden Gnome nominations and pick of the 4 who you would pick?
I was.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to like discuss your thoughts on sailing versus shamanism.
Oh, you want to? Okay, we can skip the Golden Gnome thing and we can look at that.
Yeah, I feel like
I thought shamanism sounded like it just changed the whole vibe of the game too much.
so. Yeah,
Not necessarily that it was good or bad, just that it was very.
I agree. I agree on like the whole augmenting thing, but I like the part where it was a gathering skill and a processing skill in one, and you also what was it? Like the being able to like go through different like dimensions, kind of like
That was
it
the
was.
part that I thought made it just sound so kind of off the wall, was the Shadow
But then
Realm thing or whatever.
but then they went and did that exact thing with Desert Treasure 2 with the Whisper boss. So
Well, yeah, but that's just one little instance. That's really just canon at that point. It doesn't have anything to do with the mechanics.
Right. But
Really.
like I feel like they could do something with that as well. Or they could have, I guess.
Maybe, and like, it could have been a cool idea and stuff. It might have even been fun for gameplay. It just didn't feel old school to me, which is kind of a cliche, but
I think that the
I would
term
say
doesn't
that's
feel old
probably
school
why
to
it
me.
didn't win, right?
I don't like that term anymore.
What's that?
The term that doesn't feel old school to me
Feel old
anymore
school? Yeah,
because
right.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not anymore. It's
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I understand it's like obviously we're not playing the game from 2007 anymore, but we are still playing like I don't know 'cause if something so huge came into the game, it would be like EOC, and that's another really dumb cliche. I just mean something that like so entirely changes the way the game is played, right?
yeah, for sure.
Because I don't even necessarily think that like RuneScape 3 is a bad game, but it's very much a different game. And it's saying that like if you play RuneScape 3 and you're like, this isn't RuneScape anymore, you mean something very different than you do when you're playing old school and you're like, this doesn't feel old school to me. 'Cause, like, that
100%,
is a
yeah.
different game now. And I think shamanism to me sounded like making the game different rather than just evolving over time.
Yeah, probably.
Right, not even to say that that's fundamentally a bad thing, I suppose. Like it could still be fun content and well made and enjoyable or whatever. It just sounded like it was changing the game a lot, or it would at least like inevitably have to, or something. You know?
I think that was one of my favorite parts about shamanism was it kind of took things in a whole different direction, and it kind of
Yeah.
gave it just like sailing. It gives a lot of room for interpretation on what could come next from that skill. The only skill I felt was super pigeonholed was the animal handling one.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
I think
Because shamanism could have gone anywhere and done anything pretty easily. Yeah.
I feel like shamanism would have taken the game into like a more fantasy mystical type of direction, and sailing is just like a more grounded in reality type thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about just how you immerse yourself in a game through the mechanics of it and stuff. And I think sailing will be really cool for that, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's made our world a little more interactive, kind of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus, I mean, I guess shamanism would have too, but
Yeah, I mean they could have done like a whole alternate, like you know how they have like Scape Rune as one of the random event things.
Yeah.
They could have done like a whole alternate world where they added different things, and that would
that's
give
where the
them.
corpse beast came from, dude. The it used to be called the ethereal beast, and it just wandered around in the wilderness in like another dimension, and somehow there was like a
Nah,
rift
bro.
in space
Nah, bro.
time, and
Imagine, you know how people have been asking for them to add the echo bosses into the real game? Do that with shamanism.
Yeah,
you can do it with sailing too, though.
But like the echo bosses, it makes sense because it's like echoes and like fucking ethereal shamanism type.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't have like quit over probably any of those games getting or skills getting put into the game. To be honest with you,
yeah,
they
I
would
mean,
have
I've
to
played since I was like
change.
a little kid. I would probably still play RuneScape 3 if old school had never come out.
I probably would too. I mean, I was still I played RuneScape 3 for probably 6 to 8 months recently.
Mm-hmm.
Only as of like mid 2024, I stopped playing RS 3.
I'd still like wax poetic about the good old days or whatever a lot, but I would never quit, I think.
I think one thing people need to get over about RS3 is like they're gonna copy shit from that game into this one.
Yeah,
bro,
100%. They've done it a lot successfully
they
too.
already
That's the dumb
do.
thing to complain
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
They already do.
You ever get? But do you see how many people like comment about it and cry about it? They're like, "Oh, this is just reskin from RS3." I'm like, "Yeah," because it, and we're like, "Yeah," because it would have been sick in the game had they not changed the whole game fundamentally back in the day.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah. People that
just
complain about stuff like
like
that don't know anything about RuneScape 3, right? It's just like a
just like
boogeyman.
yeah, and just like the Twisted Bow is a reskin Hex Hunter bow, and like all the fucking the Missouri is a reskin Pernix, and except that one also gave like bonus.
Void Waker, nobody
Yeah,
complained about that one.
Being Karasi, yeah.
Yeah.
It just,
I
yeah.
mean,
And it makes
I
sense too. Like as a game developer, like get your inspiration from wherever you can. It's going to be a lot more convenient on a getting it from something that like you share IP with, and there's not going to be any kind of
right.
legal concerns to just copy something over. Like this is a thing that I think is well made. I can kind of adjust it
Yeah.
in old school and blam.
Yeah, I really don't care if there's shit that's like copy pasted from RS3 as long as it's adjusted
Yeah,
to fit old school.
balance
Yeah,
it and it's cool.
yeah. I think had they called it a Karasi and like done a quest for it, it wouldn't have made. I think the Voidmaker was a good solution to that.
Yeah. Yeah, like the whole problem with the Karasi was that it was a quest item and it was cheap to get.
That
Yeah,
was before my time or something.
but but otherwise, I mean, back on like the shamanism versus sailing, like Iggy said, I went to quit either one. Animal taming, I went to quit, but I think the animal taming route could go the route of like the player on farms. They don't need to add a whole new skill
Yeah.
for that. They could just be a farming
Yeah, or a mini
expansion.
game type thing or something, right?
Yeah. Same with shamanism. You could do a mini game with that too. Like, oh, here's how I enter like the
Do a
ethereal
sailing, too, to be
world.
fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
All of
sailing
it.
would probably be the easiest mini game of the three.
I mean, we've seen how hard they've worked on sailing and how long it's taken. I don't think it would necessarily been an easy mini game, but yeah, all of them could have
Well, they
transformed
wouldn't
into
have had to
something
been nearly
else.
as careful if it was coming out as a mini game either.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, they probably would have put something out a lot quicker if it was like a mini game.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
I don't know. That could be a mini game is another kind of RuneScape cliche that I think it's got a lot of validity to it a lot of the time as a criticism of things. But before we're doing fucking mini games, new ones, man, some of our old ones really need some fucking work. Like they recently did with Trouble Brewing. I've heard that was pretty good. The proposals with Castle Wars, I think, is pretty good. Like when they overhauled Fishing Trawler and totally changed it, that was definitely good.
yeah, definitely. When they just redid Wintertod, it's basically a mini game.
I don't know anybody off the top of my head that's ever said that bringing back Stealing Creation would be a bad idea.
I think
mean,
it wouldn't be bad, but I don't think it's necessary. I would like Fist of Gothics first.
It's weird the way we all play is like as adults
Stealing
and we understand
Creation-
things are like a waste of time more than we did when we were 12. Because when I was 12 or whatever, Stealing Creation was fun. Now I would probably see it as a waste of time, but
Yeah.
so that they're bringing in new shit. It's just immediately dead content.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all might have seen the Soul Wars as the same thing, and people like Soul Wars.
People
they?
don't like Soul Wars as spots.
Yeah, you didn't see those EVscape videos where he was like, he found a couple worlds with like 300 people or 300 bots doing Soul Wars.
No, I
the
didn't.
math, and they were making like 12 bill a day or some crazy shit.
No, I did not see that.
You didn't see the like the year in review thing where Jagus like shared the most killed boss.
The most received pet was the little creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, guys, point proven. People like Soul Wars.
Do they?
People, right?
Mm-hmm. One guy voted 300,000 times. It's good.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that sailing could go. I'm excited for it. I was a shamanism voter. I wish we would have gotten a chance to see. I wish we would have gotten a chance to see all three of them more fleshed out than what we did.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I feel like I got the impression early on when they did those polls. One sec. Where they acted like maybe they might come back to that after we get a lot further into the sailing development thing, right? Like in theory, the 3 years from now, sailing comes out, and they're like, okay, now we can go back to talking about these ones. And I think if they won the good graces of the community with sailing as a success, they might be able to pull that off, right?
Definitely.
I still think they should have pulled sailing versus shamanism just because
Because the animal handling just kind of ruined the whole thing.
Well, not just that, but like because when they pulled all three of them against each other, the shamanism and sailing were both really, really close, and they also mentioned that they may pull the two of them against each other on their own,
Mm-hmm.
Which they should
but then
have.
they didn't. Yeah, and they didn't, and their excuse is they said that they may, which isn't that they will. So it's like a technically correct thing, but then I don't know. I feel like if they just had done that and sailing won, then people would have been like way more accepting of it.
Yeah, a little less.
It's just less to
Like
complain
they wouldn't
about.
feel as ignored or whatever. Yeah, because the animal handling was like the third party of the two-party system. It's just,
Yeah.
everybody feels like they robbed 5% of the votes from their side. I'm about to get 6-houred.
Yo,
Oh
don't do
shit.
that.
Hmm.
Well, I think as far as everything goes, that's kind of what I had for the agenda today. Just update chatting. But before we do any kind of sign off, I do want to ask each of you what's going on in game. What are you doing, and anything you want to plug. So we'll start with
I'm running
plundering.
some laps. I'm running laps.
I'm also running laps.
Me 3.
Since I maxed, I've just kind of been enjoying that I don't feel really compelled to go anywhere specific or do anything too strictly. And then I got spooned 2 more pets since then. Agility almost feels like a waste of time because I got the pet at like 74 or some shit. But I'm winning the skilling comp. Plum
Yeah,
can't stop me.
I'm kind of in the opposite boat. Like,
You have one thing to do.
yeah,
If you
agility's
want
the
to
only
play,
thing.
that's what you're doing.
Yeah, or Slayer, but yeah.
That would get old quick.
Nah, I kind of like level 3 Slayer. Like,
All you have to do is just hit with your goblin hammer at like the same tick as your alt.
yeah, and it's like you can do it at the beginning of each kill too, so then you're like already synced up and for the rest of the kill.
Yeah.
And then since like as long as like there's targets within range and are already aggroed onto you, then you can also like not even have to bother timing it for each consecutive NPC because like you're already still on the same attack delay thing.
Right. I guess that's not too bad. That's way better than doing the spawn hit or whatever the hell back in the day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was not feasible as a method.
Yeah.
Thing about RuneScape players though is they'll do shit that's not feasible if it is the only method.
True.
Josh isn't gaming. Coxie, Alien Food Fray for the new. I'd vote Alien Food. I've really liked his content. I don't know. Those are all good. Coxie's stuff has had a lot of really good editing and shit in it.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really good
It's been
items.
fun content for sure.
Was anything you guys want to plug before we sign off?
Nope.
Nah.
Don't join
good.
Z Skillers. We're full.
No room. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I know it was for Iggy it was short notice, but plundering we've talked about this for a while, and I just like never happened. And then you got a job.
Yeah, I did get a job.
So you ruined that for me. That was like you were like my backup because I knew you'd always be free. Then you had to go and become a contributing member of society.
Uh-huh.
Fine.
Yeah, so like I was in NEAT for quite a while. Like I remember we did our first like cast together in like November 2022 or something.
It was a while ago because I'm looking at my episodes here. You were episode number 4 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, lots of has changed. Like I have a job now and stuff. I live on my own, well, kind of with roommates, but yeah, not as much time to game. But it's nice though, because like I enjoy my time more, like the time that I do have to game.
100% agree.
Right. I can see that. As my first time as a NEAT, I'm just enjoying having all the time to play RuneScape that I want.
Just don't get just
Haven't
don't
had
get
that since I was a little kid.
Yeah, just don't get too comfortable, or else it's going to be like really hard to change that.
Yeah.
Well, anything you want to say before we sign off, Iggy?
No, man. Thanks for having me. Sorry, my kids came home from their mom's 2 hours early, and I was a little distracted for a lot of it, but
I think we got some good content.
Yeah, we
it was
did.
fun.
So
Next time, I'm gonna do a big line of Coke, and then I'll be super talkative.
for 10 minutes, and then you'll crash out.
No, I'll have lots of Coke.
Oh, okay. You'll just continuously throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, you never do just a little bit of Coke.
It's gotta be the whole 2 hours, just every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What
Just
was-
sniffling the whole time.
What was that? What was that sniffling earlier? Who's sick?
I told you guys I'm sick. I'm off the fucking Dayquil, man. I woke up today. I
What the
felt
hell?
like absolute shit.
Oh, I thought you said you're off of it, as in you're not taking any.
No,
I'm withdrawing a little bit.
I totally misinterpreted.
First time in a long time I haven't gotten up and just started robo frying right out of bed.
Yeah, dude. I'm going crazy off the Dayquil. No, I woke up yesterday. Day before yesterday, I was fine. Started getting like a little bit of sniffle, and then I tried to mute my mic every time I did it, but sometimes I missed it. And then yesterday I was like okay, but not great. This morning I woke up and like my equilibrium is fucked. My ears are like plugged. My nose
I hate
is
that.
stuffed. It was like I couldn't breathe sleeping last night, so I slept like shit.
Yeah,
Just great. Just a great morning for me already.
hate that.
Do some Coke about it.
Yo, I don't even think it would make
Put
it up
in
my
your butt, though, if
nostrils.
You can't start anything. Yeah, you got to put it in your butt.
I don't think I could do that.
It's worth it.
I don't know if it is, actually. I will.
Yeah.
Thank you
Only
guys.
one way to find out.
That's true. And for legal reasons, I'm advising that people who are listening to this do not do cocaine through your butt.
Or at all, right?
What?
I didn't say that.
Allegedly.
I said through your butt.
It's the same thing as snorting it. Your anus is a mucous membrane. It goes directly into your bloodstream.
Is that why that works?
Yes. Very easy to overdose, though.
Noted. All right.
Because you don't have the process of snorting it to kind of slow you down.
That's true. Well, thank you for the information here at the end. And if you are still listening at this point in time, I'm sorry. And also thank you.
And you're welcome.
Yes. So if you made it this far somehow with some kind of grace, do feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. I never do that until like the very, very end, just because like I don't like being a shill. But thank you once again, Plundering and Iggy, for joining me. And it's been a fantastic 2 hours chatting with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Have a good
yeah.
one.
See you.